Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artika.
And I'm Tommy.
You forgot who you were?
Nah.
And today we are back with Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 1. And that episode is titled Lone Stars No More. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. All right, so I guess we can just start in the order that they went in, which was Gil and Mirla. So the reason that the expert said that they matched the two of them was because they had similar upbringing and culture. We found out both of them are Colombian. From the pictures when they released everything a few weeks ago, I assumed Gil was black.
Yeah.
But Colombian, makes sense.
Yeah.
His father was killed in a home invasion, and he talked to his friends. When he was telling his friends that he was about to be married at first sight, one of the first questions that they asked was about attractiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say struggle with this, but I always look at them like, y'all went on the show to say you just gonna match me with somebody. I think y'all gotta give a little bit more on attractiveness.
Yeah,
like everybody has to give a little bit more.
You have to.
Because it's not like you didn't pick this person. Obviously, the people that you're picking isn't working out. So that's why you went to this drastic measure. Mirla said that being single is lonely, and she spends a lot of time doing self-care.
Yeah.
She was talking about having weekly lash appointments and these long drawn out skincare routines, which I found very interesting because Gil said he wanted someone low maintenance. I was like, these two things do not match.
Yeah. It was funny because I was like, I don't know about all the lashes and you know, it felt like it's excessive.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that gets their lashes done weekly.
But I was like, I get the facial part. Like, you gotta wash your face.
Yeah, but she wasn't talking about it. It's just washing her face.
Oh.
She was like, I have this routine.
Yeah.
And if it take you 30 minutes to wash your face to get in the bed,
it should take 30 minutes.
Let's see. So she said because she grew up poor, that's why she spends so much time taking care of herself and resources taking care of herself, because it's things that she didn't have growing up. And
I got that part.
When she was telling her friends about her getting married at first sight, they said that she was very picky and she wasn't good at compromise, and she's going to have to learn how to do that. And I wrote as a question, could they not be any more of not what the person asked for?
Man. All the way to a bald head.
Yeah, because she said she didn't like bald guys, and he's
definitely bald.
Yeah, he's definitely bald. She was like, bald heads creep her out or something like that.
She'd get distracted by a bald head.
I don't know what's distracting about a bald head. I wish we could dig deeper into that, because it's not like you can see your reflection in it or anything.
Right.
But yeah, so that was the first couple. Gil is 35 and Mirla is 34.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her occupation was, but he is a firefighter. So next up was Zach and Michaela. Zach is the youngest person on this season.
Yep. At 27.
At 27 years old. And I think Michaela is the youngest woman on this season. She is. So they are the youngest overall. Michaela is 30. So this couple, what was interesting about them is that neither of them have ever been in love.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm like, not even your like middle school girlfriend? You didn't tell her you love her? Maybe they told them they love her.
I don't know. I can't say. Because it's as an adult, it's like if you're not in a relationship with people, then I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't know. I find it interesting that both people are like, I've never been in love, like unlike the other things that we watch, you know, where one person says, I've never been in love or whatnot. So I think that's kind of interesting to see that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this couple.
Yeah. So Zach told his parents first, and he basically explained in his confessionals that he has this ideal about marriage that no woman he's been with has ever lived up to. And we did find out later on when he was talking to the guys that he has not been in a relationship longer than 9 months.
Yeah.
And he was like, the next one from the 9 months were 2 back to back, and they were 2 months and 3 months.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been with anyone very long. His dad says, how do you know you're ready to be a husband if you've never been a husband? And I was like, how did you know, Dad?
Right. That was my question. I was like, how does anybody know they're ready to be a husband? And using the basis that he was using, if they've never been a husband. Most people, the first time that they get married, they've never been a husband.
I mean,
like all first time people. But, that's like, for me, I think that's just something that he's saying, hey, I don't think that's just his way of saying he doesn't agree with what he's doing.
Right.
Instead of just saying, I don't like it, but I'm going to support it, because obviously we know he's going to support it.
Yeah, the question was just awkward. It's like, I know you wanted to say something different or ask something different, but it just didn't come out in the way that you thought it was going to come out. What I did notice about the two of them was that they come from like basically the same family dynamic.
Right.
Where she's an all-female family. Of her father passed away. So outside of, he still has both of his parents living. Everything else about them is kind of like a twin dynamic. It's like he's one of only boys. She's one of only girls. And it's just like his mom said something, and now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of makes sense. His mom said that she never thought that a woman was going to be good enough for her son. She's going to have a problem with any woman that comes into this because they interrupt the I'm the only woman dynamic in the household. So going on to Michaela, her sister said that she was very stubborn, and she says that she lost her dad and she wants someone to love her like her dad loved her. She was I think that's all I wrote for her outside of them going dress shopping. And Zach said he's never been to a wedding, so he doesn't even know what to expect when picking a tuxedo. And the last thing that I wrote down about Michaela was that she said that when she was going through the process and all the interviews and filling out all these questionnaires and things, she felt the presence of her dad and her grandmother with her. And she was like, I know that they're okay with me doing this.
Yeah. I did find it, like, she's a realtor, and I didn't catch what he does for a living.
I didn't either.
But he plays the piano, and he's wanting to play a song for his wife. I really find these two really interesting, and these two are going to be my I wonder what they can get into.
They're either going to work really well together or they're going to crash and burn.
Right.
Really easy. Like, there's not going to be like an indifference thing with the two of them. Exactly. They're going to be one way or the other.
Right. And I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that it's better than last season. We do have to preface everything. I want to say this now, that we have not watched anything before this episode.
No, we have not.
They might have explained some stuff or whatever. We haven't watched it. So
been busy. So next up is Bao and Johnny. I am very excited to watch them.
Oh, I can't wait to see them this season. Just
from getting through their wedding.
Right.
I am so excited to watch them this season.
I'm going to say this. I love, like, obviously we find out that they know each other, and they know each other from college. I was told as a child that you would meet your wife while in college.
So, I was told that too about my husband.
So and it's true.
Obviously.
I did meet you in college. And it's kind of like the same story.
Right. It's like they knew each other.
Yeah.
But they didn't know each other.
Right. They only heard things. Well, she heard things about him. and they worked in the same things and stuff like that. Didn't go to the same college, but they was in the same. They was actually presidents of the same club. Yeah. So that's the dynamic that I'm really looking forward to seeing and how they blossom and how it goes, because we've seen things like that, not as strangers, but we've seen things like that work out.
Yeah, and she wasn't like she was repulsed by him until she saw who he was.
Right.
So starting from the top with the two of them, Johnny has not had a girlfriend in 7 years.
Yep, that's awkward.
Once Bao said Johnny was a playboy during college, I was like, oh, that's why you haven't had a girlfriend in 7 years. One thing that I noticed about him that wasn't directly pointed out was that Johnny has the exact same outfits in his closet as like it's a uniform. He had the same pair of khaki pants lined up, the same shirts lined up, and he was like flipping through them as if
they're not all the same. Yeah. I have 5 pair of khakis.
I have 5 pairs of khakis, and I have 5 light blue shirts. Which one of them am I going to wear today?
I mean, that's a supreme like thinking, man, because he does not have to think about what he's going to wear.
That was one of the things that I like best about working in retail.
Yeah.
Especially one of the companies that I worked for was that we had to wear all black. I did not have to think about what I was going to wear that day. It was just black.
Yeah. So
he did let us know that his parents divorced when he was young. And in the beginning, he had no plans to tell his dad that he was getting married. But we did see that changed a little bit. Bao said she needed the approval of her family in order to go forward. When dating, she was always looking for a better fit. And she said that she grew up poor. And when she started school here, she didn't even speak English.
Right.
And she said that growing up very poor was one of the points in her life that kind of embarrassed her. She said when she was walking home from school, she would pass by the trailer that they lived in so that the kids walking with her didn't know that that's where she lived.
Yeah.
And kids are cruel.
Yes, kids are cruel.
Let's see. Her brother thinks that she's going to be great for Married at First Sight, but they also hope that her husband is going to be flexible because she is not.
Yeah.
We did see, even though Johnny said that he wasn't going to tell his dad, he did end up telling his dad, and his dad declined to be a part of filming.
His dad was like, no.
Yeah, this isn't how you do this.
Absolutely
He kept
not.
telling him it was dangerous. He said his dad used the word dangerous over and over again. I wonder now on this side, knowing, I'm just saying, like taking it from day 2, like after day after being married, when he tells his dad that he got married, but he actually did know the girl, will that change anything for his dad?
It probably doesn't.
No, I just wonder.
Yeah.
So we get to Bao and Johnny going to pick up their attire for the wedding, and Bao walks in and was like, I want to wear a white power suit. And they were like, no.
That's what she said?
Yes. She was like, this dress thing isn't really me. I was thinking more of like a white power suit.
A white power suit. I didn't even hear that part.
And everybody was like, no, you're not wearing a white suit. And so she ended up finding a dress because it had pockets.
Yeah.
And I felt her on that because nothing is better than having a dress with pockets. And Bao ended up picking out a red tuxedo jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that red in Asian cultures is good luck. So that's why he picked the red jacket.
That's cool.
Bao said that she hopes that her mate can understand her upbringing, and Johnny wants to make sure that his mate is shown love because he said he didn't grow up in a big "I love you" family,
right?
And he wants to be able to say that to his wife. So the day of the wedding, they gave each other gifts, and Johnny gave Bao a picture frame, and I can't remember what her second gift was, but in a long handwritten note, he mentioned that his gifts were wrapped in jerseys. And for some reason, that didn't translate to Bao, like that these are really going to be wrapped in jerseys, because when she opened the gifts and she saw the jerseys, she was highly disappointed. And she said, not a direct quote, but almost a direct quote, "I work with some of the most brilliant minds in cancer research, and none of them are sports fans." So she was like, "I just can't get with a sports fan." And I'm like, I wonder what about the dynamic of being a sports fan bothers her. Like, is it that they like take up their whole Saturday or Sunday watching a game, or like, what is it about the sports fans?
That's what it is. It's like it's taken away from, like, for her, because disclaimer, I did fall asleep during this episode.
A lot. Like multiple times.
The part that I heard when she was like, she works with some of the most brilliant minds, I've seen where some people be like, it takes away from doing something else.
Yeah, I don't like watching sports all day. Like, I'm one of those get in and get out. I just want to watch the team that I want to watch.
Yeah,
and I'm going home.
I set up myself to where I can watch what I want to watch. Anyway, go ahead.
So Bao ended up giving Johnny a sympathy card. You didn't see this one?
No.
So the card that she wrote her note to him in, it was a wedding survival kit that she gave him.
Yeah.
But the card attached to it was like, with the greatest sympathy or deepest sympathy or something like that. Like, the note she wrote in it was funny. Yeah. But it was literally a sympathy card that she gave him. And he thought that was hilarious. He was like, that shows her personality. She has to be amazing. And when they flashed back to her, she was like, she wanted a nerd and not a bro, and this isn't going to work. I said that Bao overreacted, saying that she works with brilliant minds and none of them are sports fans, which I just mentioned, because brilliant minds can be fans of a sport. Yeah. You just have to look at it from the regard of, this is what they do to decompress. It's kind of like me going to play golf and things like that. It's just, this is what I do. And so they get to the altar, or as she's walking down the aisle, they realize that they know each other. She literally just says, "Oh my God, I know him."
It seemed like it was a sigh of relief. Mm-hmm. And the nervousness, the nervousness of, I know him and I've heard of him, mm-hmm. started to get into her mind. But the relief part was, you can see that both of them were like, mm-hmm. Type deal, just because they did know each other. And, they fit
He is brilliant.
Yeah. They fit a thing, mm-hmm. For them. So that was a good sign for me.
Right.
Or whatnot.
So after they got married, they sat down and talked to each other, and they both had one non-negotiable for their wedding day, which was a tea ceremony. Funny, they mentioned it to each other, and they're like, I was going to do that too. Yeah. So they were able to.
Yeah, I think that's dope, because they still like this unorthodox way of getting married. They're still bringing the tradition of their family and mm-hmm. their culture into it. So I really appreciated that. It's kind of like how Black people jump the broom. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate it when people do that, because of the tradition of their culture, mm-hmm. And stuff like that. So,
and one last thing about the two of them that I thought was funny was, he looked at her and said, "I know you've seen me on dating apps. Did you ever swipe left?" And she was like, "No, I always kept you in my maybe because I knew you. And I would feel bad if I just said no." So it's like they've been seeing each other, right. But neither one of them ever made the effort to push forward, because it's like they had friend zoned each other for no real reason. Yeah. Outside of the fact that they kind of knew each other. Yeah. And they didn't think that it was going to blossom into anything. And here they are, married. So next up was Brett and Ryan. Brett is a reformed serial dater. And he grew up in a small country town. And his family seemed very shocked that he was getting married. His sister said that he falls in love very easily. And his dad asked, why can't my kids just be normal? I don't know what the sister is like that.
Yeah, that he said that.
But one of the things that he mentioned was that he hoped his sister was on board with it because his sister is able to easily sway what his parents think.
Yeah.
So hopefully his sister didn't throw any salt in his game.
I really didn't write a lot for them.
I didn't either. I have, I think, 2 more sentences. So I said, Brett told her friends and they're excited. And she says that she prefers quality over quantity, which is very different from Brett's dating style. And she says she hasn't had any intimacy and not even a kiss in over 2 years.
Yeah.
I do want to note, and I didn't write this down, but I do remember it, that she broke up with her last boyfriend 6 months ago. They had been locked down together during quarantine.
No, you thinking about that's Rachel.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, it is. You're right. Brett is red hair.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind.
You're getting your girls confused.
I am. I'm getting them confused. That's why I didn't note it because it's not there.
Something I did want to point out is Ryan wanted to get married like a switch cut on for him to need to like try to find his wife because a friend of his had died suddenly, I want to say.
He said 18 months ago.
Yeah. And so since then, he's been trying to like really figure out, the family has started to become more important to him and stuff like that. So that's what got him here. I'm just really interested to see their dynamic with each other as far as how they are going to perceive each other.
Brett and Ryan are definitely my wild card.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Because
I'm leaning more towards the no.
Right. Because the thing that I seen between them were like they're opposites of each other. But it's like Ryan, I'm trying to make sure I get their name right because Brett is a boy name, but it's for a girl to me. But Ryan, he's like more so of, you look at him as, I don't want to say a choir boy or a church boy, but I do want to say really, really good. Like he wants to do everything right, be polite and everything like that. But on the flip side, Brett is like, see, I did it again. Brett is like,
because you're probably also thinking about Brett from 2 seasons ago.
I think so. Brett is like, she's good, but she could be bad, not bad in a bad way, but bad in a, like, I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? No, you can't. I'm just trying to go somewhere with it. But no, she seems like she's not I don't want to say goody two shoes, but she's open to a lot more things than Ryan would be open to.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And so I'm interested to see how that dynamic works for them or whatnot.
Yep. So last is Rachel and Jose. Rachel is 33. Jose is 35. We opened up with Rachel talking about how she's been working out since she broke up with her ex 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I mixed those 2 up. She and her ex were quarantined together, found out he cheated. He had to go.
Yeah.
But since she's been working out and building up her self-confidence, she has lost 35 pounds. And she says that she just really wants someone to cook for her. I remember being that way. Like, I really wanted someone to cook for. And look at me now, not wanting to cook.
So now you have 2 somebodies to cook for.
And they're always hungry.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them is definitely always hungry. So in her past relationship, she said that she has been way too accommodating and insecure. When we get to Jose, I didn't really list a lot about Jose. I said that he worked for NASA. His worst case scenario for this situation, he said he's a calculated risk taker.
Yeah.
And he said the worst case scenario for this situation is divorce. But he was like, the best case scenario is pretty much happily ever after. He's leaning towards the happily ever after. And his parents got divorced when he was 18.
Yeah.
I didn't really write anything else about that.
I literally wrote one sentence for them.
What's that?
And that Rachel's friend told her that she's too accommodating.
Yeah, and she mentioned that herself as well.
Yeah. So with him being so calculated and him leaning towards the happily ever after, I think that's the mindset that you have to take when you're partaking in this type of experiment. Just because if you're thinking, oh, what if she's not attractive? What if, this doesn't work out? What if we get a divorce? If you're thinking about that, that's the type of attitude and type of thing you're going to start thinking about, like when you actually get into it. Mm-hmm. When things start coming up, you're going to be like, oh, this is it. Basically, instead of like really focusing on the happily ever after, the we can work through things, we can do this, we can do that. And those are the things that with a traditional way, those are the things you get a chance to work out. Mm-hmm. Instead of just coming into it, hey, we're starting off married and then we got to work out the kinks.
Right.
So, yeah, I just, I think they're gonna, for me, I think that couple is probably gonna be I don't want to say our safest bet. I can't say if they're going to like each other or yeah or nay.
I can't say anybody's safe at this point.
Right. But what I can say is I like the way that they matched them. So.
I'll give you that. The only thing that we didn't really mention was the bachelor and bachelorette parties. Gil was the life of the party.
Like for Gil to be such a big guy, like
I didn't watch the full unfiltered episode. It was just too much Married at First Sight, too long, and it was too. Yeah. It was no. Yeah. But I did watch like the first 5 minutes of it or so, and Ryan said Brett got up on that pole, and Brett is a big guy. Gil. I'm sorry. He said Gil got. I'm thinking Ryan and Brett.
Yeah.
Ryan said Gil got up on that pole, and Gil is a big guy. Man. Like Gil, he ain't no small one. Like
right.
He got up there. He was like he's agile. No, Zach said he was agile.
He's agile. Go ahead, big fella.
So definitely. Gil and Mirla were definitely like opposites in that regard.
Right.
And it kind of made me think about me and you because you're the one that's going to get up and go dance.
Yeah.
And I'm more so like, sit down, give me another plate, give me a drink.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm going to have fun for both of us.
Then Bow on that bull.
Man, that's too funny. It's like she just like, that's the thing. But it was like, for bachelor and bachelorette parties, it's not a time to be just stuck in a corner. Enjoy yourself.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think that everybody has their own levels of enjoyment.
Yeah.
But Bow was having a blast with the bull.
Right.
Michaela was having a blast in general.
Right.
Like she was like, I'm getting married tomorrow. This is it. Party all the time.
Right.
And Zach kind of seemed like he was having a good time as well. But we didn't really get to see everybody else's like full interactions there because it was like they showed I don't want to say the wild cards, but the wild moments.
Yeah.
Even at the very beginning of that unfiltered episode, Johnny was like, they missed so much of what happened during their bachelor party, even though he was 4 hours late.
Yeah. No, he was... An hour and a half.
Oh, it was an hour and a half.
Yeah, because they did the drinks when the guys met each other.
Oh, the distillery tour.
Yeah, and then he was like, Gil just kept bringing shots, and we kept drinking them, and he was like, I just had one too many.
I had to go lay down.
I had to go take a nap.
One of the other things that they did mention was that the ladies discussed how recent it's been since they've last had sex. And then also both parties mentioned if they were going to go in for the kiss on the wedding day.
Yeah. Michaela had sex. Like right when she found out. Like,
she was like, I had to let him go.
Is that something we need to be worried about?
Like we saw last season.
Right, exactly.
We got things to consider. But all in all, I'm hoping that this season is a lot more interesting of a dynamic than last season was, because it was just way too much of villainizing one person.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to actually see the couples in their true dynamics until he was gone.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't have to villainize anybody and we can just have regular, I don't like you.
Right.
Or I don't like what you did.
Right. I did want to bring up the fact that Jose has written 250 questions to ask his wife.
And I felt like, Jose, are you a lawyer? I know you're not, but it feels like you're a lawyer.
I'm like, man, the fact that he was like, he wrote down every question that he thought of. And I was like, the fact that you wrote down every question, you can see the calculation in his head. You can see the gears turning in his head. And Johnny compared him to a Pokemon, man. I found that to be funny.
I didn't watch Pokemon.
I didn't either, but
I was chasing Pokemon when that was when that was hot.
And the question that Zach asked all the men, are they going to cry at their wedding?
Zach looked like he gonna cry.
Yeah, Zach's gonna cry. He's a crier.
He is.
He's a crier. But
bless him hard.
Bless his heart. In his defense, though, he's wanted to be married at 25, and we talked about that too. We was like, what was our number? I was like, I really didn't have one, but
me and you kind of had a reproductive number, not a get married number.
Right. But I'm finding that to be interesting because Michaela seems to be completely opposite of that. Like, he seems to be the softer side. She seems to be like, there's no crying in baseball.
Well, she did cry a few times on this episode.
Oh, okay.
Most of it was talking about her dad.
Yeah, right. That's a cry-worthy thing. But, I don't know, man. I found that to be interesting. And because, a lot of black men, aren't allowed to show emotion. And that's the ultimate emotion, is to cry, to me, I believe. And, tears of joy, tears of sadness and stuff like that. So I find that to be interesting and a show and proof of where we are as men and as black men.
There was, sidebar, there was an episode of I Am Athlete about that.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall was talking about how he has twins, and he was like, if the boy falls, we're like, get up. You don't have to cry. And when a girl falls, it's like, it's okay to cry. Yeah. It's just how it's presented.
Yeah. So I found that to be interesting. And most of the guys, all the guys was like, nah, I'm not finna cry. And Zach was like, maybe. Yeah, it's possible. But
well, so far Johnny did not cry. So
yeah, Johnny didn't cry. He just kind of was like, yay.
I know her.
Yeah.
She's attractive.
Right. She's not an ugly duckling.
Yay. You got anything else?
This episode was 3 hours long, so you guys forgive me for falling asleep on commercial breaks and a little bit into the coming back from commercial break.
Ooh, it was just, Lily was climbing, Tommy was snoring. It was just, I missed a lot, even though I was awake the entire time. Yeah. So hopefully even though these next episodes are 2 hours long, hopefully going into the next episode, we can have this ironed out a little bit better.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
All right. Well,
predictions. We're going to do that this episode?
Yeah, go ahead. Or you want to wait until after all the weddings?
Let's wait till after all the weddings.
So next week.
Next week, we'll do our predictions.
Okay. Because we only saw one couple get married.
Yeah. I was going to, what was you finna say?
I was finna end it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, put a ring on it. We completely missed the last episode.
Okay.
It's been busy.
No. We went out of town on Saturday morning. And so we were preparing to go out of town Friday night. So we just did not watch Put a Ring on. And we still have yet to watch Put a Ring on It. We're going to watch it and we're going to do 2 videos, says Tommy. I suggested 1. He was like, nah, we're doing 2. So we'll have.
You sure? No, we just go to the 3rd episode. So
The one video?
Yeah, we're just gonna do the one video.
Okay, so the next 2 episodes, the last episode and the next episode of Put a Ring on It will both come out this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, this weekend.
Yep. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. So yeah, stay tuned. Check in with the channel this weekend. And yeah.
If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, and comment down below. Let us know what you thought about this first episode. There's 3 hours. I am almost ready to start a petition for Lifetime to not have this first episode be 3 hours.
Or started earlier, not later.
Yeah, started at 7. That's a good one. Let's go 7 to 10.
Yeah.
That would help me out a little bit more. But just let us know what you guys thought of this episode, if we missed anything, because I'm sure we missed a lot of notes because I didn't have a free hand with Lily and he was asleep.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all I got.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Peace.